Hi, this is Mike here. We're back here working on getting a good foundation on this mare. Now, you see I've got a stick in my hand. And I'm going to tell you what this is. This is a cattle sorting stick. They're usually about 6 feet long. I've cut this off to about 4 feet. Taped up the end of it so that I don't scratch up my horse or anything. And it is just an aid that'll help me train my horse. And on this next deal, what we're going to do to get a foundation on, the foundation, like I've said before, is all about getting rid of resistance, stiffness, abrasiveness, and getting respect from your horse. Now, the greatest thing a horse can do to give you respect is to back up, okay? Yesterday, whenever I tried this the first time, it was absolutely horrible. But what we're going to do today is we're going to try it again, and it's going to prove to you that if you can just somewhat go and get it done and get out and quit, you'll find out the next day you come back, things just get better. And I'm just going to go ahead and get off on that for just a second here. Used to, whenever I started a 2-year-old, I would get one out and I would go through all of these exercises. And I would be done with them, and I'd have the horse saddled up for the first time, and I would ride them in this halter and rope. And that would all go down in about an hour, hour and a half. And they wouldn't buck. Now, as you can tell, I'm not going to do that today on this mare. Number one, she don't turn 2 till March. She hasn't been handled. What we're doing is getting a foundation on her and getting her respectful where it's easier to handle her. Now, the main thing is teach an exercise. Is it going to be perfect the first day? Absolutely not. But what you do is you come back every day and you build on it until you do get it perfect. And give these horses time to think. Time to think and process what's really going on. I'm finding out this fall I've broke 4 2-year-olds. And I've took that approach with them. And my God, I really think they're some of the best 2-year-olds I've put out in years. I mean, because I never pushed those colts. So the main thing that I want to do on this right now is for the horse to back up. That has given me a lot of respect. And as you all know, all we work on is gaited horses. Foxtrotting horses is the only thing we ride here. But what I want you all to understand, it does not matter if it's a foxtrotting horse, walking horse, Rocky Mountain horse, or what it is. Every single horse needs what I'm doing here. This pertains to you as well. The other big thing is we are not training for a show. We're training for trail. And that's something that show people don't really understand. We are training for trail horses. It is completely different. So, what we're going to do here is get this mare to back up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand here and I'm going to shake this rope. Just like that. Looky there. Yesterday, I could shake that rope. She went straight up, to the right, to the left, over me, every which way there was to go. But now today, and what the stick is for, is if I'm going to sit here and tap the air, shake the rope, and if she didn't go backwards, I'd take and whack that rope. And what that does, when you whack that rope, it jars that halter on their head and puts pressure on them where they go back. You can actually drive them back like that. But for the most part, if you don't want to use a stick, that's fine. You can sit here and use the tail of your rope. You know, just like that right there. And see how she'll go backwards? That's great. That is a great way to go backwards. Whoop. Come here, babe. There you go. But there's just several different ways you could do things. And this is one of them. After you do that for a while and you wiggle that rope, I always like to be able to walk into them. Kind of almost like I'm marching. And when I do, see how she goes back? And I'm jiggling that rope. And notice how that front end's coming up. And she's picking up that front foot and setting it behind her. That's what you're wanting, okay? And that's going back here on this foundation. When she's picking up that front foot and bending it and put it back, she has not got no resistance in her. You've seen horses before, and people try to back them up. The first thing they do is they raise up their head, and then they drag these feet. That is stiffness and resistance. Whenever you get one soft, supple, and respectful, and light, they'll back up like this. That's what that's all about. And so that goes back to what I'm telling you here. Just on the backing up, we have gotten the resistance and the stiffness out of her. You know, just in this right here, I cannot stress enough how backing one up changes everything. It really does. Sit here and come in here, and I'm just going to the tip of that shoulder with this rope. Right there, right there. Now, the footwork is great, but notice that head's up here. That is because of the way she dictated yesterday how we get this done. Now, we keep coming in here, and eventually, you're going to see her. She's going to go to backing up, and that head's going to stay down. Is that going to happen today? Absolutely not. Will it happen? Sure will. And we'll be back to show you. And that's just giving you something to work on all the time. But anyway, work on that. We'll be back in just a second with some more.